This is the last ever Aventador, and it can be yours for just 20 points in summer of Series 36, the Lamborghini Aventador from 2021. The last edition until they make another one. So from stock, this thing has 770 brake horsepower, 531 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs a whopping 3,858 pounds with a whopping 6.5 litre V12. Now, in terms of similarities, this and I think the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ look very similar to each other, and going to the back it looks a lot like the SVJ and also the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Going to the inside it looks pretty much just like every other Lamborghini to ever exist, and now let's go ahead and take a listen to that wonderful V12. So here we are now over in the upgrade shop. The first thing we're doing is going straight to conversion to see what we can do to this thing. We do actually have an engine swap for this thing, which is the Racing V12, which actually has about 20 less brake horsepower than the stock engine. If you want, we can also go ahead and make this thing a rear wheel drive too. Feel like adding a turbo? No problem. Let's go ahead and boost that up to 851 brake horsepower. As for aero and appearance, let's see what we've got. We've got just a Forza splitter for the front, and I'm going to guess for the back we have got... Yep, the Forza wings made another return. Now, something very interesting is this thing actually starts out stock on semi-slick tyres, so we don't actually need to go ahead and throw those on, but we can go ahead and also make them a little bit wider at the front and also a little bit wider at the back as well. And while we're focusing on things this car already has, it also already has race suspension pre-installed. So after a bout of upgrading, we have made this thing heavier by taking up to 3,925 pounds, which is very hefty indeed, but we do now have 890 brake horsepower and we're at the top of S1, and all that for only 21,400 credits. So going over to the paint shop, going to advanced, we have 3 paint groups to choose from. So let's see, paint group number 1 is the main body of the car. What is paint group number 2? Let's see, shall we? What do we have? Okay, paint group number 2 are these weird like little aero things. And what's paint group number 3 then? I'm kind of very intrigued now. Oh! Okay, I see. So it's like these little stripes here. Do we have them anywhere else on the car? Does that change anything else? Nope. Just those little bits on the front. Oh, and these bits on the back. Okay, that's cool. However, now moving over to manufacturer colours, we've got quite a fair few to choose from. We've got ourselves a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different colours to choose from. And I think for me, my personal favourite is probably going to be this blue right here. And now we wait an hour and a half for it to save. So not only is this just the last ever Aventador, but it also has a very special name, because it is kind of like the ultimate edition of every single Aventador ever made. They've decided to go ahead and call this thing the Lamborghini Aventador ULTIMAE. Now, the cool thing about the ULTIMAE is that it is still engine powered, and is also, I believe, the last Lamborghini to be naturally aspirated with a whopping 6.5 litre V12, and no hybrid motors in sight. And away we go, we're in S1, nearly 900 brake horsepower and up against pretty much everything else indeed. We've got a very nice car and hopefully we should be able to have this thing drive very nicely as well. That sort of, I think that's an El Camino that's in front of us, so it's all over the place. But now that was actually a really good corner. We went from 8th to 3rd in one turn, so I'm pretty proud of this thing. And past the Supra we go, even better. Now, as we go up here, a very interesting thing about the Lamborghini Aventador ULTIMAE is that this is a very rare car indeed, with only 350 of them ever being made. And the slight issue with that is they're all sold out. But if you wanted to buy one, you would have needed to have had at least 507 to 550,000 US dollars lying around in your bank account. And for the Brits like myself, here's that conversion on screen at the moment. So you could say it's a little bit pricey, but then again, this is the very last of something which I'm sure has been a poster car for a lot of people watching this video. We're going to ignore the fact I hit the wall, nothing happened. In the meantime, 95%, one more turn to go, the finish line is right there, and across we go with the last of the absolute chaos. It is Italy's probably favourite supercar. We've also got a first place in a time of 1 minute 53. So, quite the race indeed. Now, going over to conversion, we don't need to change anything because it's already all-wheel drive. It is currently twin-turboed, and we've got the stock engine, which I believe is probably a little bit more powerful than the one that we could have put in it. But we are going to go ahead and upgrade everything, because now it is time to turn this from an absolute racing machine into an absolute drag racing machine. Or at least hope so. So after a lot of upgrading, we are now a lot lighter at 3,532 pounds. We've got a lot more power at 1,153, nearly 1,200, which is insane. And somehow we've managed to keep it inside of S1 class while also spending only 37,000. So if you ask me, I'd say it's quite impressive. And now the fun thing of I've got to sit here and tune the whole car because our resident mechanic Mac is currently a little busy, so at the time of recording this video I'm having to try and make the tunes as I go, which could be very, very interesting. Although no, Mac, there's probably going to be some tunes up by the time this video has gone out. And so here we are now over at the back of the Festool, so let's go ahead and get a wheelie check. What do we get? Do we get anything? Nope, not this time. At least I could say it was a really good effort. I'm not sorry for that pun. That's a lot of credits. Anyway, let's go ahead and get ourselves onto some good old-fashioned launch control, and away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we can get out of this thing. Hopefully it is going to be something good. Hopefully it is going to be something very, very fast indeed. Remember, this thing does still weigh 3,500 pounds, but it's very, very hefty. But it's a lot of power, but we only got 188 through the camera and 209 off the edge of the drag strip as zero brakes. We have never had brakes. So as it turns out, stopping is only an option. But now we get to go ahead and have a little bit of fun because we're making this thing back into a bit of a top speed build. So I think for fun, we're going to go ahead and throw on the Forza tyre lettering semi-slicks this time. And we're also going to go ahead and add ourselves a good old set of spacers for the front and for the back as well. And don't worry, I didn't forget to do the suspension. Honestly, this thing's probably going to be an absolute nightmare to drive. But something that isn't a nightmare is this week's Forzathon shop, because for 800 points we have got the Ferrari 250 Testarossa, which is a very nice car indeed, the orange Pinata head, as well as the orange Pinata outfit. We also have the Pagani Zonda Cinque Roadster, which is a very nice car to have, as well as the Sleepy emote, which honestly describes me 99.9% of the time. We also have the Horizon Super Wheelspin and the regular Horizon Wheelspin again this week, and now let's go out to the motorway. Okay, and now it is time to play everybody's favourite game of how close did I park to the motorway grate this time, and I think we nearly got it spot on. Oh, I'm happy with that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get ourselves on launch control once again, and away we go. We are spitting every single flame possible out the back of this thing, and let's go ahead and see what we get for our top speed. Personally, I'm hoping it's something pretty good indeed, because after all, we've got a lot of power. It'd be a shame not to put it to good use. And out of the speed zone at 226.23, we are still accelerating at 230 and going up. So hopefully we get a good speed through the downhill and through the speed camera, but we're not going to find out if we don't go there, so let's get going. And speaking of the camera, there it is, 231.02, going downhill, 232, 233, 234, 235, 236, it just keeps on going and going, and now it isn't because we got to 236, and that is our top speed. However, there's also something pretty cool while we're here, and it's this, because of the series that this thing is in, Horizon Cars and Coffee, for the entire month of, I believe, the end of July to around the middle of August, we have got this cool little coffee shop. Okay, one more thing to go. And that thing left is to take the Italian machine drifting, so let's go ahead and see if we get a good score out of this. I'm hoping for anything above 30,000. We've not done a very good job at getting started on that on round 1, but we did exit the drift zone with 35,495 points. Hopefully round 2 might be better. Still, has anyone want to find out? We are going back for round number 2. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. We've got 35,495 points to beat, and it looks like we have well and truly beaten it at 39,481. I guess those small changes I made really did help. In the meantime, that is the Lamborghini Aventador ULTIMAE. It is a very interesting car, only 20 points, and it will take you probably about half an hour to get. It's an interesting car, but I wouldn't exactly say it's the fastest thing I've ever seen. However, if you're a fan of Lamborghinis, and especially the Aventadors, then this would make a perfect addition to your garage. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And as ever, thank you very much for watching. Tech out. See ya! Yeet. Oh, that's not going well.